Hello. This seems very deja vu, doesn't it? Well, at least for me. If you've been around since 2020, 2021, you know that this isn't the first Stuffies video I've done. September of 2021, around that time, was when I put out my Stuffies review for Godzilla vs. Kong, because I stumbled upon Toys R Us and found they were selling those Stuffies. I did those two Stuffies. It was just Godzilla and Kong. They never bothered doing a Mecha Godzilla Stuffy, which would have been great if we got a Mecha Godzilla Stuffy, but they didn't skip out on this movie, GXK The New Empire. They have done, yet again, another Godzilla and Kong Stuffy, but they've also added Skar King and Shimo. I am very surprised we actually got a Shimo Stuffy. I thought it was just gonna be Godzilla, Kong, and Skar King. Well, Playmates has been notorious with keeping spoilers. They have done Mecha Godzilla before the movie even came out, so honestly, I don't think they have any filter, so I'm actually just surprised that Shimo even made it as a Stuffy. So, obviously, today's video, we are going to be reviewing the Godzilla Kong the New Empire Stuffies from Playmates Toys. Now, where did I find these? Were these sent to me for free? No, I came across them also at Toys R Us, so that's why I said in the beginning, it's very deja vu. Obviously, we got all the tags I gotta remove, but for Godzilla and Kong's case, I do have the original Godzilla vs. Kong Stuffies. I didn't get rid of them, I still have them, but I'll pull them out to compare. So let's actually dive in and look at these two first, and then afterwards we'll look at Skar King and Shimo. So let's start off with, of course, Big G-Man himself here. Alright, kicking things off, we've got, of course, Godzilla himself. This chunky boy has gotten a little bit leaner this movie, but not so much for the Stuffies case here. And yes, as I just mentioned, I have brought out the previous Stuffies from the last movie, and here is that Godzilla. If you remember me doing that review, go check it out. I will probably have it linked in the description of this video, but there you go. Never got rid of it, it's still here. Looks very cute, but now, the ultimate comparison. Old Godzilla and new Godzilla, created by the same company. In case you're wondering, I am from Canada, so the Stuffies I have here are purchased from Toys R Us, which is imported by Imports Dragon. That's why this may look a little bit different. I'm not sure if these are available in the US yet. I actually haven't seen these in the US. The big noticeable difference is, of course, color, but also the size. It looks like new Godzilla here is a bit leaner. Now, it doesn't really follow the pink color scheme. The dorsal plates are more just dark red rather than pink, but that's okay because this is a Stuffy for a child to cuddle with. So, I gotta look at this at a mighty grain of salt. Old Godzilla here is way more chunkier, and he kind of looks like a Fall Guy skin. If you think about it, you can literally fit a Fall Guys character under here, you know, just as a costume. It'll be pretty cute. And I do like these because, number one, they're decently sized. Parents won't freak out if a child brings a giant Godzilla Stuffy home. This is quite good for its size because it means it's also pretty cheap. Now, I believe when I purchased this one, it was 15 Canadian, so it was a little bit more pricier than the new ones now. This one was only $11.99, as well as the other ones, so obviously the price has dropped a little bit, but you can tell from the size, yeah, it makes sense. Old Godzilla also has different colors, obviously. He has the gunmetal gray and blue dorsal plates, while new Godzilla here is more, I guess, dark blue, almost greenish, and then you have a green front here. His eyes are yellow, and his dorsal plates, of course, red, not so much pink. You can tell the teeth are also kind of reworked. The nose is kind of the same, but as you can see, he has actual like teeth that stand out here for the old one, but the new one here is kind of just sewed into the mouthpiece, if you will. There's no extra flaps coming out. But overall, this is a much smaller Godzilla plushie, so it makes sense. This is, honestly, I prefer this more, just because of its overall look. It does look way cuter, at least in my opinion. And this one does look good, but if I had to compare between the two, it would be old Godzilla. But of course, the focus of this review is on the New Empire stuff. So this one, very durable. You can drop him and not much scratches, not much damages. So I do like the quality because while it is durable, it is also not, you know, cheap on the material. It's quite affordable, but it's not cheap, which is good. Because sometimes you can get something for a very good price, but the quality isn't actually that good. This is quite firm, if you will. The dorsal plates are obviously the cheap material here. That's a given. You know, just flimsy, I guess. I forgot what the term is. Leather? It's not leather. Nah, it's cheaper than leather, that's for sure. But it kind of reminds me of Velcro, if you will. Overall, though, I do like, you know, the quality you get out of just Godzilla here. But of course, personally, I would have to take the old one over the new one here. But obviously, it's much harder to find the old one now. He does have the cute factor. I mean, look at his tiny little arms here. Look at that. he does have a quality that you would get for a good Stuffy. But that is my thoughts on Godzilla here. I'm gonna give him a solid 8 out of 10. Not the best appearance, in my opinion. I think the colors weren't as great as the old one. But overall, a still solid Godzilla Stuffy for what it is. So that's what I think of Godzilla. Next up, we've got Kong here with the Beast Glove. Now, of course, here's old Kong from Godzilla vs. Kong. Very cute, but also much bigger. You can see the new Empire Kong is significantly smaller, and I think that might be why the old Kong and Godzilla were a little bit more pricier due to size. You also saw with Godzilla that the new Empire Godzilla is a little bit smaller than old Godzilla. So before we compare the Kongs, just like we did with Godzilla, of course, we have the tag to remove. But in case you want to take a look, that is a tag. It's literally the same for all of them, but of course, the barcode is different per Stuffies. So let's free Kong out of the tag. I think the colors on Kong compared to Godzilla works better with the new one here compared to the old one. The old one was following kind of a brownish color scheme, which is not bad. Also, he has a much bigger head, I just noticed. Like, the color scheme is pretty good. Also, it is quite soft, and it does, you know, have that cuddly, plushy factor that you get, so that's very good. You know, it's very durable once again. You know, I can just chuck it and drop it, it'll be fine. This one also has that, but also you notice the old Kong here is kind of like a softer, or not softer, kind of like a more leathery bit here, you know, with just printing on it, whereas the new Kong here is fully soft material, fully cotton, I think. Is it cotton? I'm not sure. But when you press on it, you know, he's still quite firm. Again, like Godzilla. So detailing, there's the claw marks on his chest, and then the Beast Glove itself, you know, it's sewn in, it's printed on there, you know, it's not an additional piece, but there is some good detail on it. You can see there's numbers and letters on it, so for what it's worth, it's not bad. Also, the face is pretty nice compared to old Kong here. Look at that. As you can see, old Kong here has more of a firm battle roar look. New Kong here just kind of looks, you know, kind of clueless, you know, kind of at least he has nostrils. The old Kong didn't have nostrils, so that's an improvement there. Also, his mouth is more detailed here, so there you go. But between the two, obviously, I would say the Beast Glove actually doesn't look that good. It's just printed onto the arm, but that is because it's stuffy. It's not a action figure. But I just feel like the quality of the Beast Glove, like the way it makes his arms look, is a little bit less compelling compared to old Kong here. Overall, I actually think old Kong is a little better because he's much softer. You can see he's very firm. You know, Stuffies give you comfort. That's the idea of them. They're supposed to give you comfort. So I think the softer they are, the more, you know, comfort they'll give. And while this Kong ironically has a like leather bit on the front here, you know, he's still quite soft in a way. I feel like he's more cuddly compared to new Kong here. New Kong here still looks pretty good, but again, I think the old one, especially because the old ones, you know, cost a little more, it's a given. New Kong here is pretty solid. You know, he's still got that build of a muscular, big shoulder. You know, his arms are kind of like sizing up, if you will, the way they made his pose. It does look like he's trying to size you up. It's pretty nice. The colors are good. That's what I like more about this new Kong compared to old Kong, is the colors are better. So out of 10, I'm gonna give the new Empire Kong here a 7 out of 10. So 7 and 8 for Godzilla and 7 for Kong. So that is Godzilla and Kong. Those are my comparisons with the old ones. So now we're gonna move on to Skar King and Shimo, which of course are new characters, meaning I don't have old Stuffies, so there won't be any comparisons for those two. Skar King here. This one does look the funniest in my opinion. When I first saw this, it does look like he's, let's just say he's taken something and he's facing the effects of it afterwards. If you know, you know. So here's the tag right here, and then the barcode if you want to search him up. Now compared to Kong, now obviously Skar King is leaner, he's more lanky and shorter, but he is fast and agile. That's what makes him a formidable opponent against Kong, as we clearly saw in the movie. Now, he also has the whiplash, or whip slash, but it's just sewn as an additional soft fabric piece, and for a stuffy quality, it absolutely works. I think they should have done that with Kong's Beast Glove here, instead of just having it completely printed on there. That was mainly the main issue I have with Kong. Skar King, despite the funny, goofy face, the coloring is a little bit different for Skar King. He has a lot of printing on the front and on his arms, his hands and his feet. In the grand scheme of things, like I said, despite his funny look, he does have the most detail. He'll look good on the shelf, not so much on the couch/bed, wherever you put Stuffies. I think these Stuffies, especially for Kong and Skar King's case, because he's kind of sitting in a way. He fits better on the shelf or on the car desktop. You put it up on the car, on the windshield. Overall, I'm gonna give Skar King here also a 7 out of 10. I do like how they try to include the whiplash, despite being cheap. It's still a part of Skar King, even though it's his tool. So at least they tried their best to include that on him. So I'm gonna give Skar King also a 7 out of 10. Not too shabby, but comparing him or Kong, I think him actually. He's more detailed than Kong, so that's what I think of the Skar King Stuffy. And then finally, but definitely not the least, we have everyone's favorite Titan now, Shimo. Seems like she's become a fan favorite, actually. I'm very fond of Shimo. I would like to see more of her in the Godzilla x Kong sequel, which Adam Wingard unfortunately is not directing. But whoever the new director they're gonna bring in, I hope he/she will include Shimo, please. So we need to see more of her. But Brandon described this Stuffy as a smug looking Shimo. She does kind of look quite smug if you look at her face. But before we do that, tag, here it is. And here's the other side, so let's free her from the tag. I said Skar King does have the most detail, but I didn't say he was my favorite. So right off the get-go, I'm gonna say Shimo is my favorite Stuffy from the 4. I feel like she's very toy-friendly. The way they designed her, they can translate her into toys very easily. I mean, Playmates did a really good job of it, and the giant Shimo coming, of course. Even as a Stuffy, it works. Because of the way she's built. She's basically a 4-legged ice dragon without the wings. She kind of looks like a dog, a dog Stuffy, like a bulldog in a way. Or any 4-legged animal, it works because of the way she's built. So of course she's got, her 4 legs here, her stubby little tail. I mean, her tail is obviously a lot longer, but at least include the little spikes at the end, so that's pretty funny. Her dorsal fins are, somewhat accurate. Godzilla's is obviously a little bit inaccurate. It's red more than pink. Shimo's here kind of makes sense. It's dark blue. I would say it's a little bit on the lighter blue side, but they do include a little bit enough here to make it somewhat accurate to the movie. And then she's got the crown, the crown spikes up top, pretty nice. And of course you've got her smug smile, smug face here. Look at that, imagine just that staring at you. She's just vibing. She doesn't really care about life. She's just chilling. She's just looking at you like, what are you doing, man? Why have you not clicked that like button yet? Why have you not subscribed to Mark 45 yet? Because this video is a banger. Do it. Shimo is giving you that disapproving look. So subscribe and give this video a like. That is the face that she's giving, and I like that. That is just the I'm just vibing face. So out of 10, I'm gonna give Shimo here a solid 9 out of 10. The only thing I would say would be great is make the tail a little longer. I know they need to keep it stubby to keep it stuffy friendly, but it could be a little longer. Also, just for fun, I want to see if Skar King actually fits. Oh, he does. Sort of. There you go. It works. Obviously, Skar King is supposed to be a lot smaller than her, but, you know, he does ride her in the movie, so there you go. If you want to recreate it, it works, because Skar King is sitting, so yeah, there you go. I might do that for the thumbnail, actually. We'll see. But that is what I thought of Shimo. So, those are the 4 Stuffies Playmates has created. Is it an improvement compared to last time's Godzilla vs. Kong Stuffies? Well, obviously last time was just Godzilla and Kong, and no, I feel like it's kind of a downgrade compared to Godzilla and Kong's previous Stuffies. So, it's not bad, but a little bit of a step down for Godzilla and Kong's case. Now, obviously, Skar King and Shimo is the new characters here, so there is no previous versions of their Stuffies. And they look good for what they are. I would say Skar King, despite looking goofy on the face, has the most details. They've done a good job with him. Shimo looks the greatest. I do appreciate that she actually made it as a Stuffie. Affordability, yes. You can absolutely get all 4 of them. If you really want all 4 of them, I think it's within reasonable budget. Depending on what you set your budget to, these are $12 Canadian each. So you're looking at basically, I want to say, well, with taxes, you're probably going to be looking at 50-ish dollars. Like, it's 48 if you before taxes, but then you're probably looking at probably like 52, 55, I want to say, depending on where you buy it. So it's reasonable budget. It does seem a little bit pricey for Stuffies, but you gotta remember, I just showed you their quality. They are quite firm Stuffies that are also quite durable. There are too many Stuffies that I know, even I have some of them, are too fragile. Little scratch up and their fur starts coming right off. So I'm glad that Playmates has quality. They've always exceeded quality. Even with their regular toys, the plastic is strong, it's firm. Even if you drop it by accident, the worst it can get is just like a scratch. These are Stuffies. These are soft material. They will barely suffice a lot of scratches. Now, unless you have a dog that just comes in and starts chewing them up, then yes, they'll probably sustain some damage. But these are firm for what they are. And for the price you pay for them, these work. However, I will say it is a little bit too pricey for arcades to afford them, because I can see these, especially with the way they are structured, these work in a claw machine. And I think that would be a go-to claw machine if they put these Stuffies in. They may be a little bit heavy, but I feel like, again, the shape of them works. A claw can pretty much pick them up, so these work in a claw machine. However, they are 12 bucks each, so it will be quite pricey for an arcade to load up a full machine of these Stuffies. So I can see the reasoning, but it will be goated if they actually did that. These are the 4 you're gonna get, and I would say definitely pick up one of each if you come across a fully stocked box. That's exactly how I got these ones. So that's basically my thoughts on the Playmates Stuffies. Now, we're not gonna end the video just yet, because I have 2 more Stuffies I want to quickly show you guys. And it's not from Playmates, but I also don't want to make a whole other video on it. I just put in this video, call it a day, because it's a Stuffies dedicated video. But what Stuffies are they? Let me clean these guys up and I'll show you in just a second. Introducing the Cineplex Stuffies. Yes, these Stuffies were from Cineplex. Now, Cineplex is Canada's #1 theater. For Americans, I know there is AMC, there's Cinemark. For us, Canada, we got Landmark Cinemas and Cineplex. This is where I got a lot of the GXK merch, actually. I might do a video soon on the other movie merch I got, we'll see. I briefly reviewed these in our podcast episode. For now, you can go check out the episode, but these 2, Kong and Suko, is from Cineplex. Now, they also have Godzilla, but every theater I've been to they never got it in. So at least in my area, they never got Godzilla in. So unfortunately, I was stuck with just Kong and Suko. I would love to show you guys Godzilla as well, but I just couldn't get my hands on it. It is what it is. Kong and Suko is good. We don't even have a Suko Stuffy, so this is like the only Suko Stuffy we have. So I'll take it. And this is what the tag looks like in case you want to take a look at it. There you go. And as you can see, when I turn this around, there you go. This is Cineplex's thing. So let's quickly remove this tag and free Suko. Again, material is pretty solid. It's very soft. So it's also firm. So again, quite durable if you just drop him by accident or anything. And if you want to recreate Kong using Suko here as the baseball bat, you can very well do so. So I can tell when a Stuffy is cheap. These guys were not. These guys were 15 bucks each. So yeah, a bit on the pricey side, but hey, it's theater merch. It's always going to be pricey. You know, the face does look somewhat cute, not really accurate. I don't really see Suko's resemblance here, but it is what it is. And the green eyes is very detailed. I do like that. I'm glad they even gave him pupils. A lot of Stuffies have that. That's pretty sick. You know, I feel like I wish it was more accessible, but I'm sure other stores may sell this. We'll see. So out of 10, I'm gonna give the Cineplex Theater Merch Suko here a 7 out of 10 as well. Not bad, especially given this is the only Suko Stuffy I actually have. So there you go. Now, next up, Kong, who looks very different compared to the Playmates one here, as you can see. Obviously a lot bigger and a lot pricier, $12.15, so it's a $3 difference here, but wow, you can already tell this actually looks like a different monkey, if you will. Here is the tag, the Godzilla x Kong tag, and then the Cineplex on the other side. Kong here looks different, but it doesn't mean the quality has deterred. You can see it's also very soft. The material here is way softer than the Playmates one, as you can see. It kind of looks more cartoony. And then you get this one, who actually has somewhat of a more realistic look. Now, the one thing I don't like about this one is he can't stand up on his own. Look at that, he just tumbles over. And at least Suko can, you know, he's sitting, so he can stand up on his own. Kong here, nope, you let him go, he's just gonna fall over, which is quite unfortunate. He has his own 2 feet, can't keep him up. I'm gonna give him an 8 out of 10. Despite him not being able to stand up, he does look more like a grown ape compared to the Playmates one. Not so cartoonish compared to the way Playmates have done their Stuffies. So overall, these two theater merch Stuffies, not bad. 15 bucks, you know, altogether you're looking at 30 bucks right here. But I think in the grand scheme of things, it's not too bad in terms of pricing. And I don't think Stuffies are any cheaper these days, so you get what you paid for. I really wish I had Godzilla though. It would have been nice. And here's an image if you want to see what he looks like. There you go. That's what I couldn't get my hands on. So obviously this review is a lot longer than the previous Stuffies review, given I've only reviewed 2 Stuffies in that video. Here I reviewed 6. Big difference. If you want to check out the previous video where I reviewed Godzilla and Kong from Godzilla vs. Kong, be sure to check that out. For now, what was your favorite Stuffy? Let me know in the comments, and if you're gonna pick any up, let me know which ones you want to buy, or buy all of them. For now, hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.